Yes, people, back again with another 620 podcast. Obviously, your guy, your favorite Guna here, happy as ever, of course, because things are just going well. You get me? I can't complain. Living life at the moment. Obviously, as you can see, my right hand man Matt is not here at the moment. He's running a bit late. But we got a couple of special guests that are gonna come on the show today as well, and obviously talk about what's been happening. 'Cause this weekend's been exciting, I can't lie. Again, there's been some upsets, there's been some routine wins. And obviously we're halfway now through the season. The table's pretty much like making a strong form now. We've got a strong indicator of who's going like who's gonna go top four, who's gonna go top six, who's getting relegated. A lot of people making predictions, a lot of talk. But yeah, man, in terms of how the seasons have been going, this is probably the one of the most in recent years anyway, one of the most exciting because it's usually just been Liverpool or City, and that's been like the main focus of like who's at the top. But today is a new day, 2023, and generally anything could happen. I mean, yeah, Arsenal sitting 8 points clear, but realistically, 2, 3 games that can change. And obviously, Europa League's going to come back. Still, FA Cup matches. Teams are going to be playing multiple times a week. Do Arsenal have the depth? Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan myself. I don't believe we have the depth. There's only about 14 days left in the transfer market, and I need to see something happening. Cause I'm a bit concerned in that sense. Obviously, a lot of people would have seen that we didn't get Modric, and Chelsea hijacked us again. But Chelsea been on the hijacking thing, man. They hijacked Cucurella from City. City didn't want to pay that P. We didn't want to pay €5 million more. Chelsea hijacked. They took the Felix on loan. Do I feel like I've missed out on Modric? Of course, yeah, he's been hyped up in it, but he's only done his thing in the Ukrainian league. You get me? It's not like he's been doing it in Germany or he's been doing it in Spain. So 100 mil is a risk. I mean, it's not direct 100 mil for those that don't understand the procedure to align with financial fair play. Chelsea have done a 7.5 year contract with a possibility of a year extension, and they're paying £17 million a year. So Shakhtar are not getting this P up front. Like it's not a upfront thing. It's in installments because you have to say something about the way Chelsea are spending P, man. They've spent over 400 million. If you look at it in terms of capital, in the last 3 4 years on players alone. I mean, they've got a fat squad now. They literally have 32 players that can start. I mean, I've seen a little picture on Sky Sports showing the depth of quality. Do I think Tom Bowley knows what he's doing? Nah, bro, he doesn't know what he's doing, man. He's a young kid, he's American. He's just come over. Anytime a player's been linked, Chelsea and be like, yeah, yeah, we'll just outbid the other team. Like, I don't see any structure, any transfer policy like actually going on in the camp there. And at the moment, Graham Potter is looking like a yes man, innit? But listen, it's what to be expected. Cause when he came in, all the scouting team was gone, so I didn't expect anything different. But talking about the results today, obviously the big one, the Manchester derby, City United. That was a surprising one for me. Matt did predict 2-1 United. You know, he got it clutch. I can't even lie. Did I think City were gonna win? Of course, man. It's end of the day, it's City. Like you expect them to win every game, and so does Pep. And if you heard his comments after the game, he said doesn't care about the Premier League, doesn't care about the Carabao Cup. Of course he cares about these competitions, man. Of course he cares, man. He's just saying that because he's riled up, man. Pep's not good with losing, man. He's not a comfortable loser, innit? And he wants a response from his team. Because realistically, City are relying, in my opinion, I think they're relying too much on Haaland for goals, innit? Like we're used to seeing the front three grab goals at the moment, and Mahrez is not and Grealish are not really the type to get you 15 plus goals a season. Neither is Foden. So if I was a City fan, I wouldn't be overly concerned, but I think there's some slight concern there because yeah, if Haaland's not on it, who's actually getting those goals? As we saw, Grealish came off the bench. It was a good ball from De Bruyne. He's managed to get a header in, but City didn't look like scoring pretty much the whole game. Then United, but let's be real, guys. If anyone saw that game, I need to know your opinions, man. Rashford, for me, he's interfering with play. He's actually interfering with play because Akanji's there, yeah. Akanji's running in. He thinks Rashford. He's looked at the flag. He sees Rashford's offside. He slowed down his jog. Rashford literally does a little dummy thing with his left foot, yeah, a little shimmy shimmy, yeah. and then he just left it for Fernandez. Fernandez has just wrapped it in. Edison is thinking Rashford's getting it, so he shifted over slightly, and then Fernandez has wrapped it in. It was a good finish, but like, come on, man, if that's not clearly interfering with play, I don't understand the offside rule. Then I must not understand the offside rule because he's offside and he's interfering with play. He's making the defender think. Cause I've played defense before. If I'm in defense and I see someone offside, I shouldn't really need to worry about them because they're clearly offside. But Akanji stops worrying about Rashford, thinks that it's over with. Next thing you know, Rashford's left it and my man's wrapped it around. PGMO after the game won about, oh, Rashford didn't touch the ball, so it was fine. Listen, I literally just I seen the Liverpool game with Alexander Arnold. The ball's deflected out. He was in the offside position. The ball hadn't even gone out of play yet. Linesman put up his flag. Arnold left the ball like he didn't even try and touch it. It's not about offside. So I don't understand why it's one thing for one team, one thing for another. But we know the United bias, man. We know that's a real thing. But then again, Rashford, can't lie, he's Rashford's the man in form right now, despite the offside one at first. But the second goal, Rashford did his thing. I can't lie, man. Rashford's doing all right. Happy to see it. Boom, boom. We just got Carter with us now as well.
You right?
Yeah, bro.
You're good, yeah?
You're saying, wait, I'm
Yeah.
not able to hear you at the moment.
Say that again.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Check if your mic's on mute real quick. Say something now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, still not able to hear at the moment. Bear with
One
me a sec. But you can hear me there, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me or hear me. All right. Try leave and come back real quick.
Yeah,
See if it's anything in it. I'm not too sure why I wasn't able to hear you there. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, Rashford's in form right now. Can't lie. Obviously, United are coming to the Emirates on Saturday, or Sunday. Sorry. Um, he's the only player I'm thinking that could actually like do something. Because no one else is really giving me that fear factor. I'll be bluntly honest. So he's the only one I'm thinking that could do something. One sec, we got Carl back. Let's add him.
any better?
No, I still can't hear you. You know, at the start of the when you join, and it'll ask you for audio or for a mic. It should let you test your mic, and there should be some like green levels when you join in. If that's all working, as well, just check your audio. The fact that you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I think it's the audio thing on the stream itself. Yeah, yeah. Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, man, I'm excited as an Arsenal fan. I'm excited to play this game because a lot of people, yeah, they're not respecting our thing. Every other day, it's another test. They're always kicking the goalpost back. I remember before it was like, oh, you haven't played anyone, played 18 games now. Or it's, oh, you still got Newcastle. Oh, you still got Liverpool. Oh, you got to go away at Spurs. You haven't won there in 9 years. And we're answering every question that's been asked of us. And while we're answering those questions, we're seeing teams like Chelsea and Liverpool just have a rough patch, and there's still no indication or any hint or signs of anyone actually just saying, you know what, Arsenal are raw like that team at the moment now. It's oh, they'll fall off soon, or oh, they're not gonna win the title, they ain't got the backbone, or they ain't got the squad depth, or if they have injuries. Yeah, that's all great. If what I'm hearing is pure ifs, blood. Like obviously I know football is about what if, but at the same time, give credit where credit's due. A lot of people just throw negativity on Arsenal, whether it's the FA are onto man, like they're bare negative. Like anything we do now is just getting scrutinized. Even you got clowns like Richard Keys on about Arteta can't control his players, and that's why fans are kicking Ramsdale. Are you ridiculous, bro? Are you actually ridiculous? All Ramsdale did was kiss the badge and smile at the Tottenham fans who were abusing him the whole game. And you're saying that our players are acting out of professionalism. Like it's mad. One set people we got caught back again. See if it works this time.
I've gone on to it on my phone. Can you hear me now?
Right, no, I still
It's
can't hear you, man.
bing.
It's weird.
Um,
Wait, let me see if I can edit your mic settings real quick. Yeah, no, there's not in there. Nothing I can do. Not too sure why it's not letting me hear you, my bro. Just going on the settings real quick, cause Want to get you in, man. I got enough questions for Villa as well. Emery coming in. If I was a Villa fan right now, I'd be gassed because the progress is evident and it's good to see. Uh, just a bit confused as to why I can't hear at this time. That's a bit frustrating. I'll be real. The green lines are going up on your end. Yeah, I'm not able to hear you. One sec, my bro. Let me see if it's my headphones. Let me see if I can hear you now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Should I say something now?
Hello?
Yeah, yeah. There we go. There we go. I can hear you now. Must have been my headphones. My bad. Man's got
But
you running around the shop like say it was your fault.
what I'll do is I'll log back in on the iPad. So I'm going to
Yeah.
leave. Obviously, it's your end, so I'll leave, log back in on the iPad.
All right, all
So
right. Do your
give
thing. Do your thing. Do
30
your thing.
seconds, 30 seconds.
All right. Cool. 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 And yeah, so I just don't understand what this mad disrespect is for Arsenal. But hey ho, I don't mind because we're sitting comfy, 8 points clear, man. Yo, if anyone told me, yo, January, halfway through January, man would be 8 points clear, bro, I'd be gassed. I'd be biting man's arm for that. Listen, like, and, give me that, anything for that. Cool, got called back into the stream.
What's
Yeah,
it
I
do?
can. Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you. I think you just need the
You can't
camera
see
on.
me now.
Nah, nah, nah.
Oh, man.
no, from not hearing you to not seeing you now.
Um,
Yeah, try and
Let me look on
what?
this. What's it doing?
Yeah, it might be a permissions thing in it on your iPad. You might have to give the thing permission. But then again,
Yeah, I
can
did
be
that.
black like that.
It was working a minute ago, right?
Yeah, I was looking a
Let
second.
me,
Yeah, I
yeah,
seen you.
we're onto loading or something now.
Yeah, noise, noise. Um, but yeah, obviously it was a big derby, man, and City fans should rather feel the pressure because United 1 point behind. City gotta go to Spurs as well. And yo, we know what happened last time, man. Spurs did the double over City last year. I know this Spurs team is going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Second half FC, but we'll get on to Spurs in a bit. But if I'm a City fan now, like for real, I would actually be starting to be slightly concerned about where this season's going. Is the focus the Champions League? Obviously, they haven't won the City Cup, Carabao Cup that they usually win. I don't think they won it last year as well because Liverpool grabbed it. So what's the focus? If you're a City fan, let me know what's the focus. Is the focus the league or is the focus the Champions League? At the moment as well. I think we just lost Carl. I think he's gonna be on his way back, just trying to sort out his camera at the moment. We also got a United fan coming in. He's gonna be absolutely buzzing. So that'll be good to hear. But yo, Liverpool at the moment, man, what is going on? I'm seeing some people blame Klopp. I'm seeing some people blame the players. I'm saying some people to say that they're burnt out. Like it's mad right now because no one would have predicted this. This season has been crazy. No one would have anticipated Liverpool falling off, and like we see teams fall off and still knock about. But at the moment, they're down south. Like yo, there with South Pole settings, Australia settings. Like I don't know what's going on to Liverpool right now. Obviously, I watched that Brighton game as well, and Brighton was just so dominant all over them. And I remember when we beat Brighton, people were like, "Oh, it's just Brighton." Listen, Brighton is a serious team right now. They're in form. The new managers come in and pretty much just taken over from Potter in a nice swift way. So I have to give credit to Brighton and even for Welbeck to come off the bench, score a nice little tidy goal. But Liverpool, man, you can't be getting beat 3-0 by Brighton. I hear people say they got injuries and but I'm not hearing this injury talk because even with the injuries, man for man, Liverpool's players were better than Brighton's players on that day. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at Klopp? Are we looking at tactics? Is it are they burnt out? Are they mentally drained because they didn't achieve what they set out to achieve last season? There's so many different things it could be. It's just mad. But of course, people, as you can see, we've got Carter here with me, repping the Villas. Of course, I'm liking what's happening with Villa at the moment. Good 2-1 win over Leeds as well. My guy Bailey as well scoring. I like Bailey, man. I'm a fan of Bailey. Yeah, man. Obviously Emery coming in. steering the ship. You must feel good right now, Carter, man. Tell me
Yeah,
how it is, man.
yeah, definitely, definitely. It looks like it's going the right way. Um, I think the best thing, the best attribute he's brought in is different styles against different teams. I
Mm.
think I don't really like talking back on Gerrard. I think Gerrard's sort of went the same every game with the same mentality and the same style of play, whether it be in a team that comes onto you or sits back. I think Emery knows how to break down teams. What's good, we're not the last couple of games we've maybe not won pretty, but we've grinded the result out. We've got the result, got the 3 points.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look back 6 months ago, them games we would have been at their teams against us would have been out of sight at half time. We're getting back,
Mm.
we're packed at the back. Sometimes we're going to like it's more or less a six at the back with two sitting just in front of it. Um, I think he takes every game. I think he's very good at studying. I can imagine, we've got a game against Southampton the weekend, and I could probably say that guy was probably up till midnight the night before watching games of Southampton. People have said that's what he does. Um, so that's the best thing about him, what he's brought into us to change us around, of studying other teams, not just going with a one approach, with just a plan A. And if that's not working, we're screwed. I think he's got a plan B and a plan C, which is nice to see, because now you do feel if we went 1-0 down against Brighton early on, we managed to get 3 points, and then we went down 1-0 against Wolves, managed to peg it back to a point. Should have took three. Bailey's gone around the keeper at the end, but it is what it is. We didn't take our chance, but I think under the last 3 or 4 managers, I believe probably think at 1-0, you think the game's gone, whether it's
Yeah.
in 2 minutes or they score in the 80th minute. But now with Emery, you do feel like you can go 1-2 goals down and still come away with a point or three. So yeah, it's exciting times. To be fair, I'm excited for it. We've got owners that look like they're backing him, believing him. So it's a good time. It's been a long wait, but we'll get.
No, I can imagine because obviously as myself being an Arsenal fan, I know what it's like to have Emery at the wheel. Started off well. I'll be real. Went on a nice little unbeaten streak. A lot of draws in there though. And I did think that we was a bit rash in getting rid of him. I didn't think we gave him enough time. He was still adapting to the British culture, the lifestyle, the language barriers. A lot of people clowning him, saying it's about the good evening thing,
Yeah,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But I thought I did think we rushed it a bit too much and it's confusing to me because the way we've been patient and backed Arteta even through those hard times, we never went through that kind of pain
Yeah,
with
I think
with
maybe
Emery.
Emery, you guys was more obviously it was always going to be hard getting into Wenger's shoes and filling that gap that Wenger left. Okay, he weren't great towards the end. Obviously, some Arsenal fans turned on him,
Mm.
whatnot. But at the end of the day, him and Fergie for me are two of the best managers that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm 26, so we're talking I don't know 18 years of sort of understanding football from what I've seen. So I think with Arsenal, they sort of maybe rushed it a little bit to try and go and get a big guy in that could give them that success straight away rather than believing him. But it's proven that that don't always work, and Arsenal have proved it themselves by sticking out with Arteta, one of the most exciting upcoming managers. It seems like he's been around for ages already, but he's still for a manager, he's a young manager, and
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Arsenal sticking by him, it's proven it's the best thing they've done in years, because they look a force.
Yeah, no, facts. Obviously, we got Ronaldo with us as well. We're gonna get to you in a sec, bro. We'll talk about the derby. I know you're itching. I can see your eyebrows twitching to chat about that. We'll get to you in a sec. But I just want to talk about Villa a bit more while we got Carter because obviously it's a little special edition today. Another thing I was going to mention as well. I know you say you don't want to talk too much on Gerard. I understand that. I respect that. But obviously, as a rival fan, I want to, innit? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to ask you a few questions in terms of going through that Gerard phase. Did you feel like it was because obviously we know Gerard was at Rangers, wasn't really tested. I think Aston Villa was a big test for him.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's an English manager thing. We're seeing Frank Lampard struggling with Everton. do you think he was tactically inept, or was it a situation where the players just weren't fighting for him? They didn't believe in what he was doing.
No, I think when he come in, I think we played. I think it was his second game. We played Man City at home. We lost 2-0, or 2-1, and we looked good. For the last 5 minutes of the game, Man City were holding the ball in the corner flag. To do that to Man City,
Mm,
that is good. So the hype was there. It was all, we all thought we was onto something good. Young English manager, knows the Premier League inside out. Played in it and was very successful in it. But I think a lot of people coming into this season, after 3 or 4 games, were calling for his head, and a lot of outside fans that don't watch Villa were sort of thinking it's only 3 games in. But that went on to the back of last season. We was losing games, but we wasn't losing them fighting. I think he
yeah.
lost the dressing room. And like going back earlier, I don't think he had like a plan B or C. He approached
Mm,
every game the same. And if you went 1-0 down, you didn't think you was getting anything out of it. And like you say, obviously Lampard struggling. Obviously, we don't know these guys personally, but how I see it, I think being such a good player in the Premier League, I think you've got that ego going into the dressing room when it's not going, and players are sort of asking, well, why are we doing this or why are we doing that? His reply is always as simple as, I was one of the greats of the Premier League, I know what I'm doing. Playing and managing is totally different,
it's
which me and you
100%.
both know from playing, obviously not at a level they played at, but playing and then going into managing, which we both do. It's totally different side of football.
Mm.
But I think that's the problem. There was a little bit of a thing with Austin McPhee, the set piece coach. I think he questioned Gerrard on something, and I think there was a little bit of a doodah with them. Not agreeing with sort of each other. I think maybe Gerrard was quite stubborn in his way of, it's my way or no way
Yeah.
sort of thing. I got that feel towards the end. Look, he was one of my favourite players growing up. He was amazing. So I'm not gonna sit here and say he weren't a great player and stuff like that. But like you say, he weren't really tested at Rangers.
Yeah, I could manage Rangers, man.
So
Come on, man.
yeah, that's it. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect to Rangers or the Scottish League or anything like that, but it's a bit of a step from there to the Premier League. And to, okay, I'm not just saying this because I'm Villa. The last few years we ain't been great. Things have been, the ship's been all over the place, sailing one way, sailing the other way, looking like it's going the right way, going back on itself.
Yeah, I did think you guys were a bit hasty with Dean, though. I didn't. I thought he warranted at least another season, or the end of the season at least, because of what he had originally done. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're a Villa fan. You would have saw more
no,
than
yeah.
me.
Do you know what? I love Dean Smith, and I wouldn't speak bad on him. He gave me one of the best days of my life, seeing Villa come back to the Premier League. It was great, but I think he ran out. I think he just had his time there. I think it was the right time to go. I think if he stayed any longer, and if he did stay another season and we'd only just stay up by the skin of our teeth again, I think maybe things would have got a bit nasty for him. Fans would have
Mm,
turned a bit more on him rather than him just putting the right time to go.
mm, mm.
I think it was more. There weren't really under him. There was. I couldn't really remember a style of play. It was more just Jack, do what you do, because Jack was that good for us. It was sort of like that, I believe. I could be wrong. People may disagree, but I think maybe it was the right time for him to go.
Yeah,
He done good there. Obviously, he got us back up, and then he kept us up. Some say the goal line technology against Sheffield United kept us up, but we'll say Dean kept us up. Um,
I remember that
but
still.
yeah, I think it was the right time to go. It's just nice to be on a little bit of a believing in a manager now. Like, we've just signed this 19-year-old Duran from Chicago Fire. I put a tweet out earlier saying I believe that he was coming to maybe go into the 23s for a development and go out on loan before knowing the price. I believe we paid 18 million euros. If that's the price, I can't see him going out on loan I think he's coming in to play with the first team. I think it's 8 goals in 24 appearances in the MLS, which isn't great, but we'll see. I think if this was under Gerrard, I think a lot of players would be going, "What's he doing signing him for 18 million euros?" Blah blah. But
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think
That is true.
Emery's built that relationship with us in such a short period. We sort of believe in him. So it's like, right, if Emery wants him, let's back it.
But yeah, because Emery's getting you results.
Let's not judge it. Obviously, people turn their nose up at this Moreno who just got this left back because he's 27, 28. But what people don't see is, okay, even if he's not one for the long term, and he's only around for 4 years at Villa, if he gets us into a better position with them a more attractive outfit 4 years down the line, to
Exactly.
somebody else to come in, I don't mind
Exactly.
if we keep changing 3 or 4 players every 4 or 5 years. If we're challenging, it doesn't matter. People, I think people get this thing now with the project of it has to be built on kids, but realistically, you can't build success on kids anymore. Really, there's not enough time to do that anymore. You know, you see managers getting
Yeah,
sacked
yeah, yeah.
after
Exactly. You don't have the patience.
after a short period of time
Facts.
because things ain't going their way. I don't think you got enough time to do that now. I think you got to go and buy proven players. Yeah, bring kids in. You know, the academy and youth players and stuff like that. Obviously, it's always good to have an in and around the squad and being with first team players and stuff. But I think you got to have a bit of age in there. You go
Yeah, you
to
do. You need the
it
experience.
football and stuff like that. They're all, you know, average age is like 30 years old. They're all still playing international league, international football for their country. So I think a lot of people need to remember 28 to 32. It's not old in this game anymore. Really, they're doing it. A lot of players. Look at Thiago Silva, still one of the best centre backs in the world. Still, the guy's ancient. He's about 50. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
Uh,
true. It's true. Definitely, I do agree with you. And obviously, yeah, as you said, I think you hit the nail right on the head with the shout about if Gerrard was to sign that 19-year-old because Gerrard's not getting you that results. And me, as a opposition fan, I've never seen like a patch, like a 3-4 week patch of Villa under Gerrard, just looking sweet, playing attractive football. So I understand the frustration that you guys would have had as well, especially because end of the day, on paper, you guys actually have like a solid team. Like you
yeah,
have a
that's
better
it.
team on paper than Fulham, better team than Brentford. So as fans, you would be expecting to be much higher up in league and
Yeah,
performing better. And
definitely.
100%, I genuinely think if you guys started the season with Emery, you guys would be knocking about in the seventh, sixth
Yeah,
position because already just in that short space of time, he's not only getting results, but you've seen different performances. And even against Liverpool, that 3-1 kind of flatters Liverpool. I
yeah.
seen that game. If you guys was a bit more clinical, it's a whole different story. But obviously, when you look back at it in 5-6 weeks, all you're going to see is the result.
Mm.
Last thing I want to get onto you about Villa before we move on to the Man U derby. In this transfer market, obviously, we know there's about 14, 15 days left. Where would you want to strengthen, and what kind of profile player would you prefer?
I think if you now you're asking me this now, if you'd asked me this 4 hours ago, I'd have said up front. But obviously this lad's just come in, so
Mm.
I ain't gonna say go and get another striker before I've seen this lad play.
Yeah, no,
I
fair,
think
fair.
Ollie Watkins, I like him. I think he's a good footballer. He's a workhorse. He works hard. He runs, but he don't get you enough goals to keep you up the table. Um, so yeah, probably obviously I would have said up front. But obviously we just saw this lad, and then a winger. I'd like another winger. Um,
Mm.
I'm not too sure who you go for. Do you go for a proven winger in the Premier League, or do you look elsewhere for, like obviously that Leeds? They've got that young lad who played against us. Even though I can't remember his name. He looks phenomenal. He's come from nowhere. He's fast. He's strong on the ball.
But for Lee, is that Harrison?
Nah, that Gunnerdo or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
He's only a young lad. I'll probably say he's about 19. Um, yeah, someone like him maybe. Take the risk on someone, yeah. But like you said earlier, you're a big fan of Bailey. Me, I'm not so
Yeah,
much.
man. I like Bailey, man. Obviously, I'm a Jamaican, innit? So
No, I'm not so much. He's one of them. He'll have like a brilliant 10 minutes, and then he won't really do much.
Mm.
But nah, I'm not gonna sit here and put any of the players down. What we've got, I think we've got a good team. You can see the togetherness in them. So yeah, but yeah, if I was to say, probably I'd go for a winger and obviously a striker. But obviously this new lad's coming. We've basically got a centre back that's going to be like a brand new signing again in Diego Carlos. Obviously he got injured in his first game away at Bournemouth.
Mm.
So when he's due back end of Feb time, so that's going to be like a new signing. Be good to see him. But at the moment, with the way we're playing and stuff like that, it's hard to really, it's hard to drop anyone really to put in there because we're getting the results.
Getting the results. Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
playing. We're not playing. You know, if a neutral's watching us, they'd probably look at that Villa Leeds game and think, "What a boring game." Villa look awful, but you got to grind out results. You know, Newcastle are flying at the moment, but they come to Arsenal with a game plan of try and drag it out. Okay, they wanted to get the win, but they walked away with a
yeah.
point.
Even
And I
against
think
Fulham, they just scraped by as well.
what we seen yesterday was Fulham trying to do it to Newcastle.
Mm.
You know, and teams do that, and that's the Premier League now. You're not going to
And if
always
Mitrovic didn't
beautiful
slip on the
football.
penalty, you're
You know,
talking about a 1-1.
that's it. You are, yeah. It's one of them things. So yeah, yeah, I'd definitely say a striker and a winger. But then at the same time, I don't know who I'd. If you ask me who would I put the winger in for, I couldn't answer that question because I don't think it's fair to drop anyone at the moment.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
fair
yeah,
play, man. Definitely wish Villa all the best. As I said, I wasn't at Emery out. Did think we rushed him, so I want him to do well at Villa. Be good to see him because especially if you guys do a miracle and clinch Europa League, Emery's a specialist in that, and
yeah,
I can see him doing bits because even with that Villarreal team, he overachieved in the Europa League and in the Champions League to be knocking out Munich, and
yeah.
obviously he beat United in the final. So I can see Emery doing well at Villa, man. Run, my guy. Obviously, man's got the little United badge at the back behind him. It was Joker. I know you're buzzing right now. You told me before the game. You said, "Listen, we're handling City," but I gotta be honest, my bro. That you man's equalizer is a bit
What?
controversial. Still, it's a bit freaky. I can't lie. What you man paying officials? Yeah, or what are we saying?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I watched the game. Obviously, when I was watching the game, high spirits. Obviously, I thought obviously we scored. I was happy, but obviously, I was watching it later. We were definitely offside. It was definitely offside. I agree, it was offside. I agree, it was offside. You can't do that because obviously, you watch the game again. You see a Kanji running with him, and then he stops because he thinks Rashford's offside. So I think a Kanji would have kept up with Rashford or something and set to the ball or something. So I do think it was offside.
Yeah, but true. But at the end of the day, City didn't really offer much, anyways. And you guys, end of the day, it's about taking your chances.
Yeah,
Bruno
definitely.
Fernandes is not going to be like, oh well, Rashford's offside, let me miss. You're going to bury it in it. So
Yeah, yes,
I
yeah,
rate
yes.
I rate you, man, for coming back because let's be real, yeah. City 1-0 up, 20, 25 minutes to go. Last year, they'll probably grabbed
Yes.
another one or just grinded out the 1-0 win, and you think, yo, this United team is just dull. But it's a different atmosphere, different spirit. The players like they're fighting for each other this time, and there's not been too many changes. I think the main changes for me is Maguire coming out of the team has helped you guys look a bit more solid at the back, and I feel like there's been a resurgence in Rashford as well. But even in the middle of the park, there was big question marks about Manchester United's midfield,
Yeah,
and it's now gone from Man United's midfield looking weakest to, in my opinion, I think you guys are strongest in midfield than anything else. I think if
yeah.
you guys now concentrate on improving up front and in the back a little bit, you guys can like really be dangerous. But you must be happy with Ten Hag and what he's done. I bet you wasn't expecting so many changes in results this quickly.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what the future holds because I feel like we had years of just trying to go for the big name signings, guys that we were going to take us to the top. We had Jose Mourinho for a bit, which was depressing. We had Ralph Rangnick for 6 months, that was depressing. So I think we've got a guy that's coming in with new ideas. And I think I wouldn't say our midfield was the best, strongest. I think it's our defense. I would disagree. I think Lisandro Martinez and Varane just fantastic centre backs. I think they've definitely kept us solid at the back, and Luke Shaw's coming back as well, which is someone I did not like. I did not like as a player, but every time he has like competition or something, like Malacio was getting competition, he always rises up and shows us what he's got. And Ramasaka's apparently playing some the best one I've ever seen him playing in his life. So do you think every time Ten Hag has definitely made us hard to beat, and that's the most important thing you have to do as a football club. You have to be hard to beat. Last year,
That's true.
we were getting beat by everyone, and we're not conceding goals anymore. Like start of the season, we lost, was it 6-3 to City, and that was an embarrassing game. Now we're struggling, like they're struggling to score goals against us. They're actually struggling to play against us. So yeah, I would say definitely defense is probably our strongest part. And Casemiro by far has been changed our team dynamic completely. Like that guy, you can't drop him. You can't drop him. So people are saying let's drop him for Crystal Palace. I said if we drop him, we're gonna lose the game. Watching someone like Casemiro compared to Fred and McTominay is night and day, completely different player. Completely different player.
It's
Just
not
me.
just his foot. It's not just his football that's come in and changed it as well.
Yeah.
It's the mentality of him. You
He's
know,
definitely
he's
he's a winner.
he's a winner.
Yeah,
You know,
serial
in
winner. Yeah.
the changing room, you know full well he's doing them team talks while Ten Hag's
Yeah,
out
definitely,
out of the
definitely.
changing rooms doing little bits just before the
E-
game.
Even the way he
Mentality
celebrates as well.
brought
Even
in.
when he celebrates, as well, running to fans, screaming at them. You can tell
Yeah,
he put his heart is into the game,
yeah,
and
definitely,
that's what we
definitely.
needed. That's what we didn't have last year. That's what we didn't have last year.
Yeah, it's a
I think,
different mentality in Real Madrid, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? So he's bringing that. He's bringing that over. He's bringing that winning mentality over. And people say, "Oh, it doesn't make a difference." It makes a huge difference because
Yeah,
of us with Jesus and Zinchenko. It's given us that winning
yeah,
mentality as
yeah,
well.
definitely. You
Being
need
able
them
to
winners
connect
to your
with the
team.
fans better. Yeah, you need players that have got history of winning stuff. It's the same with a manager, isn't it? You get a
Yeah,
manager, well, except for Conte because Spurs are just dead. But you get a manager that's proven himself, and more times than not, he's gonna get you results. He's gonna get you a trophy or two,
yeah,
because he's
definitely,
got that
definitely.
winning mentality. Mindset is important, and I think the mindset as well. What we're seeing with Rashford is a clear indication of that because he had that injury, and I think it was that injury that set him back.
Yeah,
But I think Ten Hag has just got that mindset to him because I remember, I'm sure, yeah, in the summer he was being linked to Paris last summer. He
yeah,
was being linked to Paris, and
definitely was.
yeah, people, many United fans that I was speaking to were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna get that Rashford anymore." But he's answered the questions, man. He's answered it strongly. You must be very proud. Like for me, obviously, you guys coming to the Emirates this weekend coming. Rashford is literally the only player I'm concerned about because you man on the counter getting that ball to Rashford, he could do something. that's my
He's
that's my main
he's
concern.
literally our only threat. Like, even when I watch the games, I think going forward, we're just it's a bit stop start. Like it's literally give it to Walter Rashford and let's see what he can do. And it was hard. Like when he was injured in the City game, panic stations. Everyone was just panicking, saying, "Oh, it's game over now." So I think that's what we need to improve. That's all we need to improve. We need to get. I don't know how we're going to improve there because we've got Is it Walt Weghorst coming in, and obviously
Weghorst on loan, yeah.
he's
I
a
mean,
different.
I feel like he's gonna just like try to hold the ball up and get you man to link up a bit more front.
I quite like the signing. To be fair, I think we needed someone like that, someone that's different to just throw on and do something different. Because we've got Martial, who he's good, like touch wise, holding the ball up, linking play, but as just a striker, he's not moving me anymore. He's not moving me. I don't know how people start faith in the guy. He's not it for the future.
What do you
So
think it was with Marshall? Because there was one stage where he looked he was firing, he was dangerous. Looked like
I,
he was gonna be the next thing for United.
I don't know what it is. I think maybe he's injured. I don't know. Maybe he's been injured. All these injuries have caught up to him. I don't know what's happened to him, but definitely lost pace. He doesn't run anymore. Doesn't seem like he's even. So now I watch him play, I'm like, I don't think you want to be here.
I think that's what it is as well. Like you say, him not wanting to be here. I think it goes back to sort of a player not knowing where he stands. Is he going? Is he starting?
Yeah,
Is he
definitely,
bench?
definitely.
So I think
Yeah.
it's always hard for a player to hit the ground running when you've been in the team for 3-4 games, then you're out the team, then you're in the team.
Yeah,
I think it's just down to him because, like Kingsley says, he was once a good player. You don't lose it overnight. I think it's just a fact of whether you don't know if he's going, if he's coming, if he's starting. But like you go back to that Waggle signing, I think that might be a good one for United. I think
yeah,
same style striker, same sort of player over the years, and it's sort of just not worked out. So it's a bit different. It's a totally different player to what they've gone in for previously. So I think that might surprise a few. You
Yeah.
don't really hear of a Burnley player on loan at Man United. It's normally a Man U academy player.
he's trying to go to Burnley. But
Yeah, I think that might raise a few eyebrows in the next couple of months.
I think he'll be really good. He seems like he'll fit in as well. He seems to know what he seems to be pressing. I didn't know he's had like really high pressing starts as well, and that's something that we're looking to do. So that's
Yeah, Ten Hag's not Egypt, you know what I mean? He's not going to bring
Yeah.
in someone just for the sake of it. Otherwise, you man would have ended up with, well, then again, you say that, but then you man were trying to get Arnautovic at one point and Rabiot, and I didn't think these.
To fair, I thought Rabiot were doing all right. It was
But
Arnautovic.
yeah, I think Arnautovic was a bit of a
Oh, no.
concern. That got cancelled real quick. But I think Ten Hag is looking for that profile of striker anyway. And in the market at the moment, obviously you guys just splashed out 100 mil on Anthony. I don't think it would be wise for you then to spend 70, 80 mil on another striker because it's the risk as well. Because obviously I know you're not the biggest fan of Anthony at the moment as well. But obviously Sancho's going through his phase right now. What are you expecting to to see Sancho back this season, or do you think it's a write off and
Ooh.
he might come back strong next season? He's still young, you know. He's only what 22, 23.
I'll be honest. I'll turn my back on that guy. I think someone like I didn't want him initially to come to United. I think he's not the kind of player that would suit our team. I think we made a mistake. I think we should have got Jack Grealish. City should have got Sancho. And I think we should need to. If we could get that swap, that'd be perfect. I think someone like that. He just doesn't play in our system very well. He seems to want to connect to players and pass the ball around and stuff. And we don't play like that. And until we have a team that plays like that, he's not going to fit in because he doesn't seem like he fits our system. And Anthony as well. He's just he's so one-footed. It's crazy. So when I watch him play, I just think, you got right foot, you can use it. He doesn't. He just he goes by a line, does a couple of skills, and has to come inside and shoot on his left foot. And it's hard to watching someone like that. But I think what Ten Hag saw was he probably came to the squad and saw, I have Elanga, I have Sancho, and he just thought, I need to get some of my guy that's gonna play and knows my system. And I think that's what Anthony is. 100 million is crazy, it's a crazy amount to pay for him, but I guess we had to back the manager, and that's what we did. So it's gonna be hard watching him my winger for the next couple of years, but I've got about my manager now. You know, we're locked in with Ten Hag, so why not?
You looked in, but obviously at the same time you spent 180 mil on the right wing, and none of it's really done.
Neither of them cemented action where they live. I think the one was. I think that was rushed.
Yeah, definitely.
That was just. I think that was to try and quiet the crowd, give them something a little bit. I think with the Anthony one as well, I think that was just going for Ten Hag getting a player in that knows his system, knows his style. Yeah. Put him in, and hopefully the players can sort of bounce off of him and learn his style of play a bit quicker. But yeah, it's a lot of money to spend on the right hand side.
It's a hard one to say. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it is. Obviously, as well, guys, I'm sure you would have seen the other results with the top 6. Well, I don't even know if we can call them top 6 teams now. Let's talk about Liverpool first. I watched the game against Brighton. Shambolic performance, absolutely shambolic. I just needed one Liverpool goal as well for my accumulator as well. That's all I needed.
We won't talk about betting, man. I've lost too much over the last. Not good.
I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, Liverpool scored in a month of Sundays, bro. Gakpo, I knew it was gonna flop. I knew it was going to flop, bro. Really? Man, them are hyping up these guys who are playing in Ukrainian Dutch leagues. When you come to the Premier, it's different, man. This is not the French league, bro. This is high intense defenders, bro. Physicality, and unfortunately, we're in a generation now, yeah. When if you don't hit the ground running, it's peak. You get overlooked because look. And even Nunes, he's popped in with a few goals. He looked a bit dangerous, but even he's getting major stick. Gakpo hasn't even scored yet, and it's been 2 games now, and he had a chance against Brighton, bit awkward one, but probably should have done better. But Brighton, bro, absolutely took the game, just took it by storm. I mean, Welbeck came off the bench and scored, bro. Man for man, Brighton don't have better players. So why are people saying Liverpool? Oh, we got injuries. No. You ain't got injuries. You got Klopp. And Klopp looks like he's run out of ideas. What do you mean?
Touching on that, we've got injuries. I think when you're as big as a club as Liverpool, and the structure they've got, and it's same Man City, a lot of teams at the moment saying injuries. Their teams, even what they would call their second team, should be competing still. You like Man City, their second team should realistically, you look on paper, their second team is still a top 14 on paper. So I don't get this, we've got injuries, we've got this, we've got that. You should still be coping with who you are. I understand teams like Fulham, Brentford, Brighton, Southampton, if they've got a load of injuries, they haven't got the 24, 25 man squad to rotate and then still compete. Teams like Liverpool, Man City, they have. So I don't think that's an excuse. I think Liverpool, that game against Brighton, I've seen some highlights. They look bad. On that Danny Welbeck goal, Trent looks like he's looking at the other end. I think he's waiting for a bus or something. And the player just peels off him. Okay, yeah, it's Welbeck that scores. But if Welbeck puts that ball across and it's a tap in, I think they need to move Trent further up the field. to become better, get a right back in, moving further up the field.
Yeah,
There's no denying his final third passing, crossing, his strike from a dead ball is up there with the best.
You
But
say that though, but like, what's actually happened? Because 4 years ago, when people were raving about him, no one really questioned his defensive capabilities. So what do you feel like teams are targeting him more now,
yeah, I
or
think that's what it is. I think teams are
you
pushing
reckon?
him. I think they're seeing him as a bit as a weak link, getting him backpedaling. Coming forward is dangerous, but I think a lot of managers are going to be telling their teams now, if you can get him backpedaling into his own box, up that right side, he's a weak link.
Mm.
Drag him inside, drag him out wide. You don't really seem to know where to be.
Pressure, yeah.
But I think it's just like 4 or 5 years ago. I think in the space of 5 years, a lot of people might say like, okay, Liverpool were bad that game, and they are on a bad run and stuff like that. But I think some of the teams, people are saying, oh, they're on a bad run, like Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool. I think, well, it is. The Premier League's getting more competitive. It is. People are saying, look, like Fulham, they're not just, okay, yeah, it's the first season back. So everyone's going, obviously they're having a good push. Can they sustain it, keep it up? But they look good. Newcastle are flying. Brighton are pushing up. Brentford are getting points. Villa are now starting to get points. I don't think some of the teams ain't doing as bad as on their own. Whereas the commentators, the big teams, if any of the big teams lose, it's always they've had enough there. Not that the
That's true.
littler team has outplayed. Like when
That's
Brentford beat Liverpool at home a few weeks back, all I seen on Twitter on the night and the day after was how bad Liverpool was. Hang on, credit Brentford. They didn't let Liverpool play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They bullied them. That's not
That's
Liverpool
true.
being bad. That's Brentford bullying them and executing a game plan of a high press that they couldn't cope with. So I think that's what it is with Trent and stuff as well. Like you say, 4 years ago, he weren't really questioning on his defending. But I think now teams are more effective, going forward more. He's being found out a little bit, maybe.
And as an Arsenal fan as well, that's why I feel mad disrespected when people say, "Oh, you haven't played anyone," or "Oh, yeah, it was just Brighton, it was just Brentford." I'm thinking, but
You
yo,
got to be in the Premier.
these teams are decent now. We're still doing bits.
Yeah.
We still can't get any credit, any capability. All we're hearing is the elephant on the tree, slip up soon, this, that. Everyone's just pushing the goalposts further and further. It
Yeah,
went
they do.
from,
They do.
"Oh,
They
you
do.
need to play Liverpool," to, "Oh, you need to play Newcastle and United," to, and like, man, they keep asking these questions and we're answering, and they just push the goalpost back. It's like, yo, if this was any other team, they'd be raving about it. So I don't know. I don't know what the agenda is still.
No, I think
Actually,
I think the points you are picking up against teams like teams you should be beating realistically, but over the years, teams you haven't beat.
exactly.
It's like them were the teams you slipped up against. I think that was Arsenal's problem. They'd go and get a great result against someone where you think that's going to be a tight game, but then they'd go and lose to someone. Well, a couple of years ago, like us, Villa beat you 3-1.
Yeah, but we couldn't beat you, man. We played like 3-4 games against you, man, and we couldn't beat you, man.
That's what I mean. I think now that's what's good about Arteta. He's grinding out results. He's being hard to beat. Newcastle, they are a real good team. You got 0-0 at your own place. Maybe some fans were a little bit unhappy about that being at home, top of the league. Maybe they thought 3 points, but that's a good result. You're not losing games. Whereas before, I think with Arsenal, they'd go on like a good little run, and then someone would beat them, and you'd think that shouldn't have really happened. And then it throws the boat off a little bit.
Yeah, man. Last season, we lost to Palace. Then we end up losing to Southampton. We end up losing like to Everton, and then we get battered by Spurs. We lose to Newcastle. We drop out of top four. And it's an embarrassing end. But because of time, we're gonna move on quickly to Chelsea as well. Another team that's really struggling. A lot of money spent. They hijacked us on a mad thing. Like if that's what Modric wants to do your thing, my bro. You chose the wrong team in London, but might not have been your fault. It might have been the club really, because the club didn't want to accept our thing. But Chelsea again. I watched the game against Palace because there was nothing else to do. Um, it was a it wasn't a boring game, but it wasn't the most exciting game I watched. I think Palace were all right. They just didn't really have that cutting edge in the final third. And obviously, I know Chelsea got that 1-0 win, Havertz corner. I literally said to myself, Chelsea are winning by a set piece today. They just don't have that creativity at all. Like, there's no link up play. It's more just hit it long to Havertz. That's actually how Chelsea were playing. It was try and put Havertz in behind or try and get a flick on. Aubameyang came on again, another ghost performance from him. I don't know, man. Ronaldo, you obviously you know what to expect from Chelsea in the past. What do you think is the main cause? Do you think it's Potter or do you think it's the players, bro?
With them, I don't know what it is. I think they're just buying whoever they want. It makes no sense to me. But I know they've got injuries, but they're just buying random players. Like you've got three basically strikers that play the same within the same window. You've got Nkuku, you've got João Felix, you've got Havertz that literally play the same. It doesn't make no sense. I don't know where direction is. So I don't know if it's Graham Potter or I don't think it's that. What's his name? Is it Bowley guy?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know who's running. Whoever they're running their strategy is. He's running in a way where I don't know what direction they're going into. Are they going because they're buying those young players? So I've seen them buy loads of young players, and then they're buying guys that are already world class talents or guys they want to be world class, and it's a mess right now. They've got such a bloated squad as well. Their squad is huge. They've got players that when everyone does come back from injury, they're going to have. It's going to be mad. There's loads of players. They've got Ziyech that's still just chilling around. They've got Conor Gallagher. They've got Pulisic. They've got so many players that they could do stuff for other teams that they're just sitting there. And the problem I think with Chelsea is none of them players have improved since I've seen them play. So I don't think Pulisic just got better since he's got there. Aubameyang's got worse. All their attacking talents got worse. Havertz got worse. When I used to watch Havertz back in the days,
I thought Havertz was going to be the guy.
It's a talent, and he just got worse. So I don't know where they're going with it.
No, I hear that, and it's not even a case of they need to spend money. So what do you actually think it is for them to change?
I think for them to change, I think they need someone to get some direction, and it could be get rid of Potter. I think personally, I would get rid of Potter. Personally, I would have got rid of Potter and say, okay, this guy's not doing it for us because clearly we're not getting positive results. There's no direction. You've got those players, and they shouldn't have sacked Tuchel in the first place. So I think that you go and get a man you want, and Simeone is coming free. Simeone is the one they need to get. And he gives them direction. I think he's a strong leader. He's a guy that's gonna come in and be like, this is what
I feel like he's a bit too negative. I don't think the Chelsea fans would appreciate it. That's more of a Tottenham signing. I don't think Chelsea would appreciate that kind of style of play. But he makes Madrid more like the most boring team in the world.
But they built on that. They're built on that. They've had Mourinho for years where they play defensive. They're okay. They're winning trophies. So I just think get Simeone and get someone that's gonna give you a direction because right now there's none. It's just. Do you
not feel like Potter should be given time considering what he's done with that Brighton squad and where they came from? Because everyone remembers Brighton now as a decent outlet, but when Potter first came in, they were struggling for quite a while. Like they didn't hit the ground running. So do you not think? And he hasn't even had a full transfer window yet for himself. Do you not think he needs at least 2-3 windows? I mean, we're seeing a lot of people modeling off Arteta being given time, and we know Chelsea are literally copycats.
So it's hard to say. It's hard to say because it depends what direction they want to go into. That's the problem. I don't know what they're doing. So
they're an instant success team, isn't it?
Sorry?
They're an instant success team. So
so if you want instant success, you go for the manager that's going to win you trophies.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't keep. If you want to build a squad, then keep Potter. But I don't think they want to because they're just buying guys. They're buying João Felix for 6 months for how much was it? £11 million loan. That's not a team that wants to lose. It's not a team that wants to rebuild. It's a team that wants to win.
I agree with you. I think Chelsea at the moment are like two magnets. One the right end, the other pushing against each other. You got a manager that you can build a team, give him time, build success, but then trying to get players to bring instant success. I think Simeone would be good. I think he wouldn't take much stuff. And I think Potter did do well at Brighton, but I think Potter's your manager that's going to get you 7th, 6th. You're going to have a good season, maybe get 5th. Chelsea won't settle for that. That's not Chelsea. Chelsea want 1st, 2nd every season. I don't think Potter's that sort of manager. I don't think. I could be wrong. You wouldn't have said that it was, but at the moment he's proving people wrong. Could be wrong, but I just think. Yeah, well, I think the manager is someone that you can build a team around if you're going to give time. But then the players they're getting, and Chelsea ain't known for giving time really anymore. It just don't make nothing makes sense. It's like you're going back to like the set. They really, really need a centre midfielder, and then they're going to spend 100 million on a winger. That's
another winger, bro. They don't need any more wingers, man.
We've been in the Ukrainian League.
They've ruined Hudson-Odoi's career, man.
Something is it?
Free my bro Hudson-Odoi, man.
He's coming back as well. That's what he's going to be. He's coming back. And
that's what I mean. They've got all these players. They've got a strong 11 out on loan, really. They've got. I think this is how many players Chelsea buy and sell. So, who scored against Chelsea the other day? Who did they play? Not Palace. The game before.
What,
Is it
Fulham?
Colwell?
Nah, who scored? Was it Fulham? Who scored for
Yeah, the
Fulham?
Fulham game when they lost 2-1, and what's his name? Vinicius scored the header to win it. And about
Yeah,
that game.
there was a game a couple of weeks ago, and it was the 24th player that had scored against Chelsea that previously played for them. That shows you they managed to sell off 24 players, and they're still playing now to score against them. That's how much players they're buying, and they're out shipping.
They're gonna have to do a mad overhaul in the summer though, because they've got too many players now.
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
have.
be
Got
like the energy in the changing room is gonna be weird, bro. Because it's gonna be set man thinking, well, why am I not starting? Like, I'm even getting paid more than you. Like,
room, mate. They ain't gonna fit everyone.
like their attacking is crazy, bro. Nkunku's coming in, as you said. Felix is there. They got Pulisic, they got Sterling, they got Aubameyang, Broja. I thought Broja was a decent player. I don't understand why
This
they
goes
even
on.
bought Aubameyang.
He's injured, and he's injured. That bro. That's all.
They got what's his name, Didi Fofana as well. Like, these men have been, and then even in defense, like they've got 3 players in each position now. Obviously they've been introduced Hall as well. Cucurella flop 60 million stolen from City, and then they didn't learn that stealing players does not always work for your system. They're gonna and stole Modric as well. Right back, I think right back's the only place where they should have improved because
Definitely.
Aspilicueta can't play right back, man. He can't. He's like 34 now. Allow him. Reece James is injury prone. We see it. And
That's
they
what I
try and
can't.
put Chalobah on right back. He can't play right. Chalobah can't play right back, bro.
That's what I don't understand. They spent 100. They spent 100 million on a winger, yeah. And because Reece James is out, they're having to play an 18-year-old at right back because they haven't got another right back. So surely you're looking at that. Hang on, okay, yeah, age is just a number. That kid, but he's not doing it. He's as Chelsea, you should have a backup right back. Obviously they do. I think they've got a couple that can play there, but no one that really
right
why James is out. So surely you're moving for even if you go and get someone that's on a 2-year deal, because I do think James is going to hit a period now where he's going to be in and out with injuries.
He is, and bro, the fact that they're relying so heavily on their right back to be their most creative player is, with the amount of money they've spent on their attacking lineup, is ridiculous, bro.
That's what's mad. Spent all that money, and they go, yeah, but we ain't got James in the team at the moment.
Bro, they've scored 22 goals this season.
Billions of pounds.
Yeah, but he's their best player though. He's by far the best player.
He's their best player, and he's not only is that he's the best player, he's the most consistent player because even from goalkeeper, probably him and Thiago Silva, I'd say are the most consistent ones where every game you can rely on them. Because even from Kepa and Mendy, they're getting exposed right now.
Yeah, they were switching, weren't they?
Jorginho for me, I prefer Zachariah. When he came on against City, he did good. Like he looked good. He looked really holding the ball well. Like he was giving me like party vibes. Like the way he was just beating players as well, using his body right. But then they go back to Jorginho and they're playing. When I watch Palace, so much sideways football, man. It's crazy. So much sideways football, and there's just no creativity. Obviously, I know they want Kante back, but let's be real. When Kante comes back, he's not going to be the same guy, man. He's not. So yeah, that midfield, Kovacic. I don't know. I thought Kovacic was decent, but he's just putting in average performances. Conor Gallagher and Mason Mount, they're literally just runners, bro. They're Brexit runners, man. They don't offer anything else, bro. They just run, man. Like even Gallagher going against Palace, you'd think, oh, he's gonna try and outshine the Palace man because he used to be there. No, bro, it was just the same Gallagher, man. Run till I can't run anymore, bro. There's no creativity in midfield. It was just long ball to Havertz. They did not get the ball out wide nicely. There's no link up play. There's no cohesion in the squad. I know they're missing players like Sterling, but even when Sterling was there, they weren't even really firing like that. So there's massive concerns for Chelsea right now. I'm gonna move on to the last two, Arsenal and Tottenham. Obviously, of course, I watched that game. Me being a gunner, I loved that first half. For me, was one of the best first halves I've ever seen us play at Tottenham's ground. We haven't won there in 9 years, we have not won there in 9 years. So there was questions that needed to be answered, and we answered those questions. For me, we could have even been 4-5 if Nketiah literally had 2 clear cuts that he probably should have done a bit better on. Partey hit the post with that mad volley. But Lloris is my guy. I love this guy. I love seeing him in net every time. 4 errors leading to goals this season, bro. He's the guy, man. I love him. I'm so but for real though. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd be so frustrated, bro. I've seen Bollywood performances better than their first half, and I just don't understand why they take to go 2-0, 2 goals down, or 70th minute, and you're not winning the game to start turning up. I don't know if I know it's not going to be Conte saying let's start a bit, a bit passive. I know he's not going to be saying that to their players. I just don't understand why they start games so poorly, and it's not just like a one-off or two or three off. It's literally every game this season. Even against Palace when they won 4-0, all the goals came in the second half. I just don't understand the mentality of it. And yeah, man, they got a lot. They got a lot to work on because they started off this season with their best ever start, and now it's just gone to pots. They're gone from third to fifth real quick. I don't know what you man think about Spurs, but do you think it's a mentality thing? Do you think it's Conte? Do you think it's the tactics? Like what gone?
Do you want to go, Ronaldo?
Yeah. I just think they're just a lot of their players are hot and cold players. So like for me, Son is just a hot and cold player, and he's having a really really bad season. So there's like 20 goals just gone out of their team straight away. You've got Harry Kane literally playing attack by himself, and I just think there's no real game plan. There's no real game plan. It's literally let's get long to Harry Kane and Richarlison to just do something. You've got I think Benson Core changed their season. Him being injured has changed their
Yeah,
season.
100. Yeah, 100.
They're playing that Saar is Saar and he's not the same player. He's not passing the ball like and he's not moving the wheel like Bensko was. So I think that's halted them a little bit. But I don't know. Their team's really good on paper. Like when I look at their team, I'm thinking, oh, this team's actually really good. But I think maybe we're just overrating a lot of the players. I'm surprised that Jed Spence hasn't got a start as well, run the games as well. You're just swapping between Matt Doherty and Royale, and I'm thinking,
Chicken Royale.
yeah, he's rubbish. By the way, he's rubbish, and just half
We was
of
gonna
them.
sign him as well. I'm so glad we dodged that bullet because he does
I
not. As you
think
said,
I think you got to look at it as I think the Tottenham players are a hard bunch to coach. As in, not in that they're too good to coach. As in, I don't think they're learners.
Yeah,
You've had a few managers come in now, and it's always been the same. You can't really say a manager's come into Spurs, other than Pochettino, to a Champions League final, from what I can remember anyway, has come in, and then you've actually turned around and go, do you know what? Spurs could be onto something here. It's always been the same. Whether it's a good start and a bad end, or a bad start and a good end, they're never consistently got people thinking, this could be something for Spurs this year. A couple of years ago, that they were climbing a little bit, but even then, you thought it won't happen. I think I've seen on Twitter something like 6 years since they last signed a left centre back. I think they've maybe recruited in bad areas as well. I think their defence is shot.
Bro, how have they not bought another goalkeeper?
Their keeper. To be fair, I'm not going to comment on the keeper. I'm not going to say anything because apparently they were coming in for Martinez. Yeah, so just Loris, yeah, give him a new 10-year contract. Leave it at that. But yeah, I think like you say, I think Kane is just out on his own there.
yeah.
You can see that from how deep he drops to come and receive the ball, leaves nothing in behind.
Exactly.
I don't know what it is with Spurs. I don't know.
No, I hear you. And for me as well, I think Conte set up so poorly that against us. 3-4-3, we're gonna outnumber you in the midfield, even if you had three in midfield. You're putting two players in midfield. Saar, who hasn't got legs,
Yeah.
Højbjerg, who's just an aggressive tackler. He's not really the smartest player you're gonna get. And then you're leaving Sessegnon to go against Saka. Sessegnon, sorry. He can't defend and he can't attack. So why would you put him against Saka? If anything,
That
just
was, that was a big
throw it
mistake.
back.
That's a
Put
mistake.
someone like I don't know, Ben Davis
Or
would probably
Doherty
do
out there.
better.
Doherty,
Yeah,
that's tough in the head to defend.
exactly. Putting
He'll
Sessegnon there is
be disciplined.
wild. And then if you at the back, I still think Dyer is diabolical. Don't know why they're still trusting him. Obviously, as I said, Lloris gifted us. And then going forward, Kulusevski was the only player that was really trying to make things work, trying to make things tick. And I thought Kane as well. But obviously, Ramsdale just had a good game. I thought anything that came his way, he dealt with it. Because if Sessegnon scores that one and it's 2-1 in with 20 minutes to go, that second half is a bit more shaky. A lot of people said, "Oh, Spurs were better in the second half." I genuinely thought with the 2-0 lead that we had, we just took our foot off the gas a little bit and just said, "Yo, let's just be a bit more defensive." Because literally, Arteta put on Tomiyasu and he put on Tierney. Tierney and Tomiyasu are much more defensive minded than Ben White and Zinchenko. So for me, when he did that, he was like, yeah, he's wrapping up. And yeah, we put on the condom and Spurs got done in it. Like it was finished. Bro. But yeah, for me, I think Spurs are in a real patch right now. Transfer windows there, a few few days left, as I said, but I'm not too sure what they're gonna do because they spent 150 since May 2022. They've spent 150 mil, and can I see improvements? No.
There
Do
must
I?
be the only team as well that can spend that money. If you look at the Spurs team, if I'm looking at the Spurs team, I'm looking at like a starting 11. I'm thinking this starting 11's been around for about 15 years. They're spending this money, but yeah, they've got that Bentancur and that other lad that played yesterday. Not too sure on his name. That were new, but I just feel like the back, the keeper, the back line, Kane and Son. I just feel like it's been around for years. It needs a big switch up there.
It needs a big switch.
Yeah,
Bearing in mind, Romero's on loan. He's not even a permanent player.
yeah. And stuff like that. I feel like it just needs a big mix up there. Obviously, I'm not going to lie and say I watch Tottenham week in, week out. But like,
Who does, bro? That's pain. That's suffering.
looking at their results, they do start slow. What is it now? I think they've come back and they have fought back and got points. But I'm probably counting like 3 or 4 times where they've gone in at half time losing.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably more than
to
that,
be
bro.
a contender at the top of the table, even from 6th to 1st, really, you can't be going in at half time losing games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
That's it.
bar the Crystal Palace match, they've conceded 2 goals in every game, like since like October, bro. It's mad. It's mad.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be Conte, the rugged defensive genius, the Italian defensive mind. Oh, it's mad. It just shows me though that Spurs just don't have that mentality. It doesn't matter who they bring in. Bearing in mind, Jose Mourinho, serial trophy winner, Conte, serial winner, comes in and they can't win anything with the squad. It's the squad. It's not. It's not the manager. It's the squad. And I
That's what
think
I'm
it's
saying. Yeah,
Levi as well. Because if Levi is not going to put 300 million into that team to back Conte, they're not winning a trophy anytime soon. And that's nothing new to Spurs fans. But
I
that's
think
just how it is.
Conte goes, Tuchel comes in, gets 150 million.
I don't think. I don't think.
I don't think Tuchel would take that project
Yeah,
still.
yeah, I don't think he
That's a
will.
curse right there.
So a few of them are saying it on Twitter. Whether it's a dream or I can't say. Obviously, I don't really follow a lot of Spurs ITKs.
No, I hear that.
To know whatever the rumours are coming out, but I've seen a couple of things on there.
I hear that.
I think they could get Jesus in charge down there, mate, and he wouldn't be able to work miracles.
Yeah, obviously as an Arsenal fan, I love it, bro. I love to see it, man.
Yeah,
I love to see it, man. Of course, because of time as well. I'm gonna wrap up with a couple of quick predictions, couple of questions. I'll come for you first, Carter. You man got Southampton on, I think it's Saturday away as well. I think you man are away.
Yeah.
At St Mary's. What's your prediction for that game, man?
3-1 Villa, I reckon.
3-1 Villa.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the same. If somebody asked me, I'd say 3-1 Villa as well. I'd probably say Ward Price will score a free kick, but that's about it. That's the only way these man. Anyway.
It'd be very Villa-like though to go there and lose and then go and get a point against you and then beat Man City or something like that. We've got Southampton, Arsenal, Man City,
then
Everton then in our next 4. So it'd be something like that: lose to Southampton and beat you or something like that.
I don't know about beating us, but yeah.
That'd be Villa-like, mate. That'd be Villa-like. Trust me.
No, Jake. And in May, couple games left. Where do you think Villa are going to be knocking about?
If I'm going to be realistic, what I hope for, I'll be happy with maybe 11th, 10th, something like that. Stable the shit. Go next year. Build up. If I'm talking a bit optimistic, then I'd like to be touching 8th, 7th.
I think Conference League is there for you, man. West Ham and Leicester have opened that door for you. I know Brighton are knocking about. I generally think Brighton will get Europa League. I'll be real if they continue the way they are anyway. I think Fulham will eventually slip off, and I think Brentford will probably end up in that 9th, 10th place. So I think you guys just keep being consistent. I think that Conference League spot should be the goal, really. I think we can get that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that will be the goal as well from the backroom staff and the owners at Villa. I think that's what they have to be looking at, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, from what I'd like is that what I'd be happy with is 11th, 10th, something like that. Steady the shit. See where we go next year.
No, fair play. And obviously, Renard family, it's me versus you on the Saturday. So, I think it's Saturday or Sunday. I'm not too sure.
Sunday.
But after that game, I'm gonna have to get you back on that podcast still. It's gonna be heated. Still, it's gonna be heated. My prediction, though, at home, I think 1-0. I'm gonna go for a safe.
To you guys.
Yeah, 1-0 to us. And Ketia, a little tap in, 75th minute around them times there. I think it's gonna be 1-0. I think your man are gonna be dangerous on the counter.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like Arteta's gonna have a plan for Rashford because he's the only real threat. I don't think anyone else has given us too much concern. We'll let Anthony do whatever he wants to do. Fidget spinner round the corner flag, that's calm. I just can't see any goals from anywhere else. What about you? What's your prediction?
I think you guys are gonna score. I feel like you guys are gonna score, like you said. So I think maybe 2-1 United. I think it's gonna be one of them games where we're just gonna sit. We're gonna sit back with this mid block thing we do, where we're just gonna sit back, just wait for you guys to attack, and just let you guys have the ball, and then do what we did in City, and just pray to God that Rashford's on form. Yeah, it's gonna be a counter-attack game. It's like the first game we played, you guys. It's gonna be exactly. I feel like it's gonna be. We're gonna try to play exactly the same.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a similar game, and I think it's gonna be down to Rashford and Casemiro for me.
Yeah.
And De Gea actually, because if De Gea makes a mistake like we know he has, because we're gonna press you guys, and Arteta knows about De Gea's footwork. I think there's gonna be a definite target, a press target on De Gea as well.
I do think
Dalot's still out, isn't it?
Yeah, he's still injured. He's not complaining.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka's getting pressed because he's scary on the ball.
He's decent. He's decent.
I used to call him Bambi on ice on the ball, bro.
He's all right now. He's all right. He's improved.
He still does run like Bambi on ice. When you run, yo, are you okay? But no, he's looking good. He's looking good.
But defensively, he's solid. So him and Martinelli, that's a good battle. I think he's gonna obviously choose Shaw for Saka. I know he chose what's his name, Malaysia the first time because of pace, but Saka did get the better of him a couple of times. I think because of experience and Shaw's in form right now, I do think he's gonna play Shaw. I'll be real. But finally, before we go, Ronaldo, I want to ask you one more thing as well. Because of that win, that massive win over City, now 1 point behind, are you guys in the title race?
Yes. For now, if we lose against Crystal Palace and lose against you, then we're out of it. But I think we are. I think we've got a tiny chance to win. But it's just it's based on you and Man City losing, and I don't know. I don't think we're gonna win a title, but I think we're in a race.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say you're in the race. If people are saying City are in the race, and you man are literally 1 point behind, then you man are in the race. You know what I mean? Because you're there, nothing about. And I know that obviously that the 8 point gap we have is comfy, but because of the packed schedule, because of how delayed this season has been, obviously we got Europa League as well coming up. I know you man got Barca midweek as well. I think I'm happy you man got Barca because you man might be a bit tired on your players. I think that's the only positive I can see as well. But yeah, man, this 2-3. If we draw a game, lose a game, then you man are only 3-4 points behind. If you keep winning, and then it's a whole different perspective. So yeah, this season's exciting, man. I'm loving it. But yeah, man, definitely thank you guys for joining. Definitely gonna have you man back. It was a good discussion in there. As I said to you, Carl, I wish all the best for Villa, for Emery, and Renard. I wish all the worst for you, man. Wait, you got Palace Thursday, innit? Sorry,
yeah. Wednesday.
Yeah. Obviously, I wish it was a bit of a more competitive team than Palace that will give you a bit more of a run. Palace, because Palace have lost 5 in their last 6.
Yeah, hopefully we battered them. And just
even at home.
Yeah, we're home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even that's another win, little confidence booster there. Maybe Rashford gets the knock.
I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start.
I don't think he'll play as well.
Nah, I think he'll start him, you know.
I think it'll be a week, not weak, but I think it'll be a weakened side.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully,
going into that game, you can't risk it.
I don't know. You don't think he wants to keep, because even against when you man played Charlton, you man and Everton, you man still put out a decent team.
We struggled, didn't we? So
yeah, but so that beating Man City on the weekend has made that Arsenal game even bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe before that Man City game, maybe they didn't really think so much that they were in it, so they didn't rest players. But maybe now, 3-4 days later, playing Arsenal.
Yeah,
don't know. Tough game.
Yeah, you guys have a good evening. Yeah, and we'll get you back on.
Sound. See you soon, both.
All right, see you. Bye. See you guys.